We'll go ahead and get started here with this afternoon's webinar. So welcome to everybody. Before I get started, just a couple of housekeeping items. There is closed captioning available for today's webinar. You can use the closed captioning feature that's built into Zoom. There on the bottom of your screen, you should see a button to enable that if you need. Please use the question and answer function during today's session. If you have any questions about anything being discussed or just some questions about the session in general. And also today's session is being recorded. So we're recording today's session and it will be made available on Encore, which is NACA's digital library, as soon as we can get that recording posted. So if you have colleagues or folks on your campus who are unable to make it today, they are able to review the recording of this session. So once again, good evening, good afternoon, everybody. I'm Josh Brandfon. I'm the Senior Director of Student Activities and Student Organizations at the University of Miami in South Florida. And I currently serve as the Chair of the Board of Directors for the association. And I want to welcome all of our members who've joined us today, and also welcome to our future members. I know we have some non-members on today as well. You know, whether you're attending your first or your 20th NACA conference this fall, we're really glad to have you as a part of our family. You know, as an association, we are really proud of the virtual experiences that we've offered over the course of the past 18 months. You know, our office staff, our volunteers have really done amazing work to bring our programs to life online. And I hope that you and your colleagues have had the chance to take advantage of some of those opportunities and that you'll continue doing so into the future. You know, some of our virtual offerings are going to be here to stay, right, as we strive to make our member benefits more accessible to all of you. We know, though, that certain things just can't be replicated virtually, right? The sounds and images of a live showcase, the energy of a marketplace, right? The learning environments of in-person educational programs. And that's why we're so excited to welcome you back to live events this fall, starting with our NACA Winston-Salem event in just a few weeks. As a board of directors, we've been very intentional in deciding when and how to return to in-person conferences. Over the past year and a half, we've monitored evolving state and federal policies and recommendations, and the board and staff will continue to do that to assess safety procedures as we move forward. We knew that we couldn't move forward without a detailed plan in place to make the experience as safe as possible. So if there's one thing we've learned through the pandemic, it's that we have to be flexible. So you're going to hear more about our safety plan in just a little bit. But we also knew that we couldn't move forward without knowing that we could provide the type of NACA experience that school and associate members have come to expect from us as an association. So our fall conferences are going to build off the momentum that we had in Denver at our last NACA Live event, while incorporating some recommendations from the Live Event Action Group, along with important safety protocols to ensure that we're doing what we can to help mitigate the spread of COVID-19. We know that this is a difficult time on many of our campuses and for many of our associates. So we hope that you can use our fall conferences as an opportunity to reignite those business relationships, to provide that extra bit of training to the student leader who may be coming in with a little less experience this year, and to connect with colleagues, right, who you can turn to for guidance and feedback and support and creative ideas. Remember also that your membership is for your entire institution, right? So feel free to share conference details with your Residence Hall Association, your Office of Multicultural Student Affairs, your Greek Life team, or any others who you think may benefit from attending one of our live events. As you prepare yourself or your delegation or your business to attend a conference, be sure to check out the Associate Guide to Conferences and the Advisor's Guide. Both are full of really great information on how you can make the most of your time with us at our events. So I'll be heading to Winston-Salem in a couple of weeks for that event, and I look forward to seeing many of you there. And as a reminder to our school members, you're welcome to attend whichever fall conference works best for you from a scheduling and a timing standpoint, whether that's Winston-Salem, Hartford, Fort Wayne, or Spokane. So I'm going to turn it over to Amber now, who's going to share a little bit more about how we approach planning for safe events.
Thank you, Josh, and thank you everyone for joining us for this webinar. I wanted to share a little bit about how we came to identify these safety procedures that we're going to have at the events. And what we really did as a staff was we divided up into zones, and we thought about the different components that create that conference experience. And assigned zones to research so that we could all then come back together and have multiple brainstorming sessions that allowed us to put a detailed plan together that would provide and foster a safe environment and a productive environment. We know that you are attending the conference so that you can identify programming options for your campus, and then for our associate members, build new relationships and continue to cultivate existing relationships. At the end of the day, we know that we want to have a safe conference experience that allows you to book programming that is going to meet your goals to your specific institution. So what we did is we reviewed OSHA and CDC recommendations, as Josh mentioned, and we'll continue to monitor those along with state and federal policies so that we can make sure that we are adhering to the expectations of our host city and also creating that safe experience. So as I shared, we broke up and we thought about all the components of the conference experience and then identify different zones to different staff members. We came together, we brainstormed, and we thought about how we can uphold that NACA experience that you all have come to appreciate and respect of the association, and then how we can do that in a safe manner. So I'm going to turn it over to Jameson Root, our COO, and he's going to walk through all of the specific steps that you can experience as a participant and be prepared as we jump into our conference season.
Thanks, Amber. So let's get into some of the nuts and bolts of what you can expect before the conference, at the conference, and then even after the conference from us. So let's start pre-conference. As an attendee, you will be asked, you have received this in your confirmation email that you would have got right when you registered. It's also linked on the website and will be provided to you several weeks before the conference. The 2-week out email will come. Our COVID liability waiver, you'll have a chance to read through that. Make sure you print it out, sign it, and you will want to physically bring that with you to the conference. Please don't try and send that to us in advance. We do need you to bring that physically with you to the conference, and every single attendee will need to have that waiver signed and turned in to participate in the conference. We're also going to ask you to pack those face coverings, but please don't bring those gaiters or bandanas as they are not permitted. We will ask folks to be masked the entire experience, except when dining in designated meal areas during those meal times. So pack really comfortable face masks to wear at the conference. And then, starting 14 days out before the conference, we're going to ask you to start monitoring your health as we look to ensure safety at the conference. If you experience symptoms or get exposed to somebody who has been diagnosed with COVID-19, we're going to ask you not to come to the conference. And if that does impact you, please email memberrelations@naca.org as we will work with you on that. But for those of you that might be attending Winston-Salem, that 14-day period starts tomorrow. So you will get those instructions in email as well. And that is outlined on the website right now too. From the staff aspect, as Amber was mentioning, we've been doing a lot of work, and Tori Vince, our experience and events director, has been working very closely with our hotels, our conference sites, gathering the information about each of their on-site protocols, their vaccination and testing for their staffs, their cleaning requirements. We've been working with them on all of that. We've developed our safety plans in conjunction with our host sites, and we'll work with those individuals in the event somebody does get sick, does need to quarantine, needs to get tested, things like that. So we're working very closely, as many of you are on your campuses, working with many of your host sites. We are doing the same with our conference locations. We do have a lot of resources that will be provided in our conference app, as well as on a website for nearby testing sites, if that's needed, hospitals for attendees. Now, during the conference, when you get on site, we're going to ask and remind you every day to do some self-monitoring, ask yourself some questions about how you're feeling that day. We're going to ask you to wash your hands often. Hopefully you do that anyway, but we're going to ask you to do that, sanitize, maintain those physical distancing. We are going to have some fancy silicone wristbands for folks that are branded, that people can hopefully take some of the awkwardness that maybe you've experienced during the pandemic of how comfortable are people with engaging in conversations. So we've got a simple red, yellow, green system here. Red, I prefer that we keep our distance, not engage. Yellow being let's chat, but maybe no physical handshakes, high fives, and then green handshakes, high fives are okay with me. So you'll have the ability to select that when you come on site and get a little bit of NACA swag at the same time. We are going to ask if somebody does experience symptoms or believe they may have been exposed to not re-enter the event. We do not want to further expose individuals. There is going to be a dedicated NACA staff phone line that will go directly to me, actually, and I'll work with you if that happens to be a situation you find yourself in about getting tested, getting connected with resources, working with hotels. We will work with you if by chance you do happen to have symptoms or believe you were exposed at the event. And you will get that information in your app, but also the pre-conference communication that will come 2 weeks before it begins. Some of the things on the backside that we are doing, like I mentioned, we'll be doing a lot of our reminders and slides and then push notifications to wash your hands and sanitize and maintain physical distancing, do those self-monitoring checks. We have lots of signage for that as well at the event. Where needed, we'll have our one-way entrances and exits and aisles marked. We're going to be cleaning lots of times, working with our facilities partners to do lots of that, as many of you are doing on your campuses with programs you're hosting. You will note there's longer exhibit hall times. So hopefully you have more opportunity both to connect with associates, but also to help mitigate maybe too many people in one space at one time. Some of the things we're going to ask you to do if you do believe you're exposed, you work with me. As we mentioned, we'll ask you to get tested. We'll work with you to identify any areas that you may have come into contact with at the event or in the hotels. We'll work with the convention centers to execute our safety plans around the cleaning schedule. And then in the event somebody does test positive, we will notify all of the attendees that somebody had tested positive, so you can self-monitor and potentially get tested yourself if you believe you may have COVID-19. And we will do that via email and through the app. So it is in the event that somebody does test positive. From a meal perspective, Tori's been working hard with our conference sites on the dining aspects. We will have a designated dining area, the banquets room, where food and beverage will be permitted to be consumed. Tables will be set up with physical distancing. We do encourage you to sit with your delegation, the people that you came with. Also, we were not able to have grab and go meals. These will be sit down meals. If you're not comfortable with that, we do encourage you to make other meal arrangements. After the event, and as we stated, on the website and in that waiver, we are going to ask that you let us know within 2 weeks after the event if you have symptoms or believe you have COVID-19, so that we can let the attendees know that somebody may have been at our event and tested positive for COVID-19, and we'll follow the similar procedure of letting attendees of the conference know that that may have taken place for you to self-monitor and take care of your health. So that's something we are asking folks to do during the weeks after the event. So that's just a big overview. A lot of things that have come to you in multiple different forms through emails on the website. You'll get more of that in person at the event as well. But we know that you're taking this seriously, and we are as well. So thank you for your cooperation in our effort to keep everybody as safe as we can during this difficult time. So I'm going to hand it back over to Amber for some other pieces for the conferences.
On that note, just want to let you know that for registration, just please be cognizant that there may be a couple minute wait as you're preparing to register, because we are collecting the waivers, hard copy on site. So just be prepared, but don't worry, Josh and I will be there at Winston-Salem to welcome you into the conference space. But we know that many of you, as you are providing, as you're visiting campuses, and for those of you planning events at your campus, you know that there's a lot of behind the scenes, small logistics that come to play for an event. So we really appreciate your understanding and patience. And we're looking forward to seeing everybody on the road. So a couple things. Thank you to the National Block Booking team, because they have been working to develop some webinars that prepare everybody for how to do business. We know that for many of you, this is going to be your first NACA conference, or for those of you, maybe it's been a couple years. So these are some refreshers and some helpful tips and tricks so that you can come prepared and source and identify those programs that you're looking to bring to your campus. So make sure to check out upcoming webinars. We've got Wednesday, September 22nd at 3 p.m. And don't worry, we will have that one recorded and it will be able to join up on our digital library with the other two. So an advisor session is available, a student session is now available, and then we've got another one coming on the 22nd. So check out Encore and search these webinars, and a big shout out to the National Block Booking team for putting these together to help all of us prepare and maximize the conference experience. So during the webinar this afternoon, you heard Jameson share a few times that we will be using the app. The NACA app is going to be our official vehicle of communication during the conference. And so please make sure that you download it either before you come to the conference or once you get on site so that you can stay up to date. That is a place where we will be sending those reminders to self-monitor and have any updates and information that we need to relay to everybody at the conference. So the app is our official vehicle of communication. So please make sure that you utilize it. We are very excited about coming together and having our first in-person conference. So we want to make sure that you are able to maximize your time. So register on the website. We want to make sure that we've got all of your information and we've got the name tag and we can get everything to you. And then of course, please make sure that you have your hotel room. If you have any questions about the logistics, make sure to reach out to member relations, and then engage, get excited, build relationships, connect with other people, and think about what type of programming you want to bring to your campus so that we can make sure that you have everything that you need and that you're able to book the programming, speakers, entertainment, and entertainment options that we have available. All of the associate members are going to be available in the app, so you can start researching and thinking about what your needs are. You can do that research on 24/7 and then prepare to have all those awesome conversations in the marketplace and get to know the associate members, get to see what it is that they can do to help you achieve your programming goals. So we're looking forward to it. If you have any questions, please make sure to contact memberrelations@naca.org and we can answer all of your questions leading up to the event. But as Josh mentioned at the very beginning, attend whichever fall conference makes sense for you and for your campus. So we're 2 weeks out from Winston-Salem, but then we've got Hartford, Fort Wayne, and Spokane. Check out the dates on the website and register and let us know if you have any questions. Thank you so much, everybody, for joining us. And for those that watch the recording, we're here and looking forward to seeing you in the next couple of weeks.